Welcome to the QT Gossip Podcast, where we flip the script on gossip, turning negativity into positivity. Join us as we redefine the conversation, focusing on the good, the inspiring, and the uplifting stories that shape our world. It's time to change minds, one positive gossip at a time. Let's dive into the stories that make us smile, inspire change, and celebrate the best in people. This is QT Gossip, where good news is the headline of every episode. Now, it's time for Tea Time with the Queens. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to QT Gossip Podcast. I am your button bitch, Captain Jack Morgan, down here pushing your buttons and getting you all excited for tonight's show. Although that doesn't necessarily sound all that great, I give you the Queens. May I introduce to you, in lieu of an absent queen, we have a new queen taking our stage. Jane Loves You 3. And of course, always royal and regal, Diva the Queen Bee. The real queen. You changed your name again. Stop doing that. Anyway,
The 6 months was up.
I'm telling you. And introducing the queen of the hour, another happy landing by Miss Queen.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the QT Gossip Podcast, where we flip the switch on negative gossip, turning it into positivity. And today, we have a very awesome show. We have a lovely twin queen over here helping us out tonight. Welcome, Jane. Welcome. We are very happy to have you. And we also have a very special guest today, which I'm super excited to have him come out. But before we do, there's a couple of things I would like to ask you ladies and even Captain. So the first thing I would like to get in the habit of doing before every single show is we're going to have a little icebreaker, and none other than the amazing Captain Jack Morgan is going to provide this for us. So Captain, you sure are.
Oh, goody. Well, anybody need anything to drink? I can go ahead in the back and grab some ice and break it for you and put it in your cups. I mean,
I saw a hand in the back.
or I could be, how you doing? And is that good enough for the breaking of the ice? I mean, I'm trying here. I'm still loopy on anesthesia, and you're asking me to be funny.
You don't have to be funny.
Well, that's a relief, because God knows I'm never that,
Oh my! Where's this button? See? Oh no, that's not the right
Now,
one.
see that's the one you're looking for, I'm guessing. Yeah.
No, you know me.
Yeah.
Well, that was a a decent icebreaker, I guess. You know.
It's a start. But we're going to be having a lot of fun tonight. As you can see, the queens are dressed to impress. They're not really wearing a whole lot, but there's a reason for that.
Ooh,
Because
no,
we're
he
going to be
did.
talking about spring break, where you're
No, he
hanging out
didn't.
at the beach, tossing back a couple of Mai Tais, watching the waves go by, or, the ripples, if you get what I'm saying. Of course. Yes, yes. So Bronina understands. That's what he just cheered for me, yes. And yes, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I'm bombing up here. Will somebody save me? Okay, anytime.
Well,
You did a good job, Captain.
I say we break the ice by recognizing this fantastic audience that showed up. I see some weekly supporters. Let me yell out and shout out Iris. Hey, Iris. And we
Hey,
got
girl, hey.
Bob. Oh, Bob, I don't have on my glasses. Bob. And we got hey, DJ Douglas Dirty. Oh, Legendario. Hey, what up? And who we got? I can't see name tags in the back, but is that Fuchsia? I see some hair. I can't really see who's
Mama
back
Bree.
there.
That's Mama Bree. Hey,
I see
girl,
Mama
hey.
Bree. Because in the very back, the name tags are not showing up for me. But I just want to say, hey, thank you all for being here. And this is episode, 5 for us?
I believe so. I believe it is.
Episode number 5. Thank you to everyone. Also, many of you are viewing us tonight on Twitch and YouTube live stream. So we want to say hello to that audience. Hello again to our corporate sponsors, Azel, the mortgage guy of Ruoff Mortgage of Midwest, and also Sunstash River Cabin Resorts of New York. So we want to thank our corporate sponsors for all their advertising work. And the last thing I wanted to say is thank you so much for each of you supporting us and the subscribers, getting our subscriber numbers up. We're making way. We're making way each and every week. We're making way. That's right.
We are growing, and it's pretty awesome to be able to spread the positivity as much as possible. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's pretty awesome.
And I just wanted to mention very quickly that Jane, for many of you, Mama Bree remembers Mogul Mindset, now incorporated. We had a fantastic tween leadership group last year. Jane was one of the presidents. And so look at now, all grown up and one of the tweens now. All right. Sitting in the chair, one of the queens.
Ain't she awesome? Hey, Jane, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey y'all, I'm Jane, and I gotta say, I'm a big fan of this show. I'll be watching every episode. But I'm honored to be.
Well, thank you so much.
We're happy to have you
That's
here.
really awesome. Of course. It's going to be a fun show for sure. Now, ladies, like Mr. Captain said over here, we are talking about spring break, one of my favorite things. So one of my favorite things that I liked to do during spring break when I was, a little child, getting out of high school, getting out of school in general, and just having a vacation. Have any of you actually been on vacation during spring break? Has anyone else gone on vacation for spring break, like when you're out of high school? Have you ever done that? Just like randomly, yeah? She's like, no.
I think we talked last week what I wanted to go to back in the day. For spring break back in my day, you either went to Daytona or you went to Atlanta for Freaknik. And I didn't do neither one. So I guess it's good. I'm not on film nowhere.
I always went to Florida for spring break, and I've always gone to one of my all-time favorite places, Disney. I love Disney.
Oh, I love Disney.
I do too.
Oh, I love Disney.
Hit me up. Thank you. Anyway, but I can go to all of the Disney parks, and I can tell you where everything is. Like I don't even need a map. It's like the back of my hand. I know it like the back of my hand, right? And when I was super little, there was this park that's called Universal Studios. Now, back then, I didn't realize that was not related to Disney. I never knew that. And then when I was growing up, I realized that it's not, not related to Disney. And then I found out that, like, oh my goodness, now I'm conflicted. Do I like Universal Studios first, or do I like Disney? You know what I'm saying? So every year, I always go to Florida, or I used to. Well, I am picking it back up, but I would go to Florida. relax on the beach, and then go to Disney and Universal Studios. So it was pretty fun. How about you, Jane? Where did you used to go, or where do you go now when you're on spring break?
I would go to Florida also, but I've never been to Disney.
The
Oh,
audacity.
Jane, you gotta go to Disney.
You gotta go.
Let me call your parents and say they need to get you to Disney for spring break.
Yeah. I agree, definitely, for sure. Disney is, if you have never been to Disney, I do recommend at least going once in your life because it is amazing. It's pretty fun. I love it.
It's expensive.
No, though. Yeah, I was just about to say, although they are so expensive. Every time I look at my checkbook or even my bank account after I just bought one ticket, it makes me want to vomit. But it's worth it, let me tell you, because it's fun. I love it.
Now on my vision board, I do want to do the Tinkerbell run once.
Yes, me too. But
we need to talk. I want to do Tinkerbell
let's
run.
Do it. Me too. And let me tell you, I will dress up like Tinkerbell, like you have no idea. I'll wear the outfit, the wings, the shoes, the hair. I'll go all out.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Me and my friend, we always go on 5K runs, and we were talking about going to Disney and doing a run, but all the runs are not just 5K. They're running to you literally run to every single park. It takes it takes about 5 hours to complete it. Yeah. But after you're done running, I think you get you get free tickets to go into the parks, and they expire obviously at a certain time, but you get free tickets to go into the parks, and you get like a medal and all that stuff for doing it. But
about 5 hours. It'd take me about 10 because I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna stop and get me a hot dog.
Me, I'm gonna get me a churro. That's what I'm gonna do every time. I
thought about you. I had churros night before last.
Desserts again. Here
we know
go.
we churros. We know we sweet people over here. We like desserts.
The ho-hos and everything. Yes.
Yes.
Nobody even mentioned the chocodiles, and I don't know why.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Bite your tongue, woman.
I don't know what a chocodile is.
It's delicious chocolate and vanilla cake with icing inside of it.
Why is it called chocodile?
Yeah.
Because it kind of looks like a crocodile.
Oh.
I gotta look them up.
Does the audience, have you all ever heard of chocodiles?
No, see, we're not the only ones.
One person did.
One person and Bob said no.
No. That is funny.
Well, maybe it's just a West Coast thing, but they were really good.
Well, ladies, we got a couple things that I also want to talk about. Not just spring break, but I got a couple things that I would like to actually discuss. And one of the things is meta news, basically. Normally, our lovely Your Local Hacker does this segment for meta news. Unfortunately, she could not be with us today, but I'll go ahead and start it off. I did find out that a couple of things. Has anyone ever had the newer update? Obviously, a lot of us probably have at this point, but whenever you constantly get notifications popping up in your face about your friends online, invite them to do something. Has anyone else had that? And it's like
I'm
super,
getting them
really
constantly
annoying
right now.
Isn't it really annoying? Let me see some confetti. Yes, it is extremely annoying. So, one thing that you can do to get rid of that, or to stop it, or to prevent it, and I have done a lot of testing, a lot of research, a lot of trial and error on certain things. The only thing that I could find, my dogs are singing, I'm so sorry if you can hear them. The only thing that I could find out that could prevent that is if you actually do go offline. You have to physically go offline in order for them to stop. You have to look like you're offline.
And that kind of defeats the... Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll figure it out, because I mean, when you have a lot of constantly I'm talking to you, it's popping up nonstop.
Yes, so, mine too. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's better than having no friends.
Yes,
better than having no friends.
That's the positive side of this. That's where we're flipping the negative, turning it into the positive side. The positive side is that you're being constantly reminded that you have friends, although you might not talk to them or know them. You have friends. Am I right?
Yes, that's right.
That is one thing. another little segment that I would also like to kind of discuss is world gossip. Now, world gossip is basically what I have been doing throughout the week is going to different worlds and looking at some of the awesome new worlds that I've seen. And one of which is actually, we kind of went to it yesterday, was, I believe it's the new MetaQuest quest, like, where, I forget what it's called. It's the where you have to go to this world and you get prizes if you do certain things. I forget what it's called. But it's the world where you dress up like, you know, Godzilla and destroy buildings. I forget what it's called. Let me look it up here.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name.
Yeah, it has a weird kaiju.
No, Jane, no.
Our beautiful and amazing guest is back telling me it's kaiju. It's kaiju. Okay. Thank you, sir. So yeah, kaiju. So that world is actually pretty fun. Now, granted, when I go side to it, the downside to it, unfortunately, is that it does have a lot of glitches right now. It's been known to not allow the full party to play the game, and only 2 or so certain people can play at a time, when it takes up about 6 players, I believe. And this is due because someone had glitched the game. So, what I mean by that is that some person went into the world and basically was constantly repeating the world and not giving up being the Godzilla, which caused the game to glitch. And not just in his instance, but in multiple different instances is what I found out. So, at this time, I'm not sure if they're updating it or if they're trying to get it resolved or fixed, but it is a little glitchy, although it is very, very fun to play. And let me tell you, it's actually very hard, because when you're the Godzilla, you're constantly getting blown up and eaten, and although you do have laser eyes, it's very hard to use them, because everyone is so small. But on the positive side of it, flipping the switch, you can literally pick up people and eat them. So that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. I quite find that interesting, because when Hacker and I were playing it, and she kept trying to laser my eyes, so I literally would just grab her, and she would be in my hand, and I would just eat her. And then when I was the little person trying to kill her, she literally dragged me everywhere. Just dragged me everywhere. Wouldn't let me go, wouldn't eat me, wouldn't, and yeah, it was fun. It's pretty fun. Hopefully they fix those glitches though soon. But
That sounds like a lot of fun. And you know, I'm thinking, since we have the luxury of having a tween here today, would love to hear from you. What's trending right now with the tween set? Would you say, what do you guys like to visit right now in Meta Horizon Worlds?
You know that Survivor game that Horizon just came out with?
Okay, yep.
That's something I'm at all the time.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love
What do you like? What do you like best about it?
I like the puzzles. I'm really good at puzzles. I like puzzles,
okay.
so the puzzles give me interest in the game.
oh, that's really
Oh,
cool.
that's good to know.
I'm really good at puzzles too. I used to do puzzles all the time when I was younger, and I still do. I have like a puzzle app on my phone. Whenever I get bored, I'm just like done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's really fun. I like puzzles too. And Survivor is a really good TV show too. It's a good ad basically for them, because I haven't watched Survivor in such a long time, and because of that world that popped up, you probably didn't know that Survivor was a TV show, did you?
No, I know that. Yeah, I used.
You
to
did?
watch it.
Oh, some people didn't even know that. When we walked into the world, they were like, "This is a fun game," and we were talking about like, "Yeah, it's a good TV show too." They're like shocked, and they ended up going to go watch it. So it was a pretty cool ad, like that Meta did for Survivor, to be able to advertise that show, as well as put a pretty fun game for all of us and our tweens. So it was pretty awesome. I've seen a lot of people also in, which is my favorite world, and I'm sure Captain, because he tries to beat everyone in it. Ignited Mangled. Has anyone been to Ignited Mangled? Has anyone seen that one?
Oh my god, yes.
It
I
is.
have been there.
I see a lot of tweens have been going there. Even I myself, I see a lot of people in there and it's created by Drop Shop, I think is his name. I'm pretty sure. Is that right, Captain? Yep. So he created Ignited Mangled, which is based off of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I thought that world, when I first started it, I thought it was like terrifying. I literally was trying to run so fast from, you know, the evil one, I call it. But now it's just so fun to see, you know, tweens, younger kids, anyone in general who hasn't been there, just to see them play and have fun and freak out when they see the thing chasing after them. It's very funny it's very funny.
It actually scares me.
It scares you?
Yeah, when I first started, I was so scared. It kept jump scaring me. I was like,
Yeah, it likes to do. I've realized. Have you played it?
No, I have.
Oh, okay. We're taking you after this. We're taking you. But I've realized that Foxy likes to do shortcuts. And if you run a certain direction in a certain way, she will literally take a shortcut and get your ass. Like, she will get you. So it's it's pretty fun. Pretty wild too, if I do say so myself.
I haven't seen any of my anything on here. Jane will laugh. Anything that scares me, chases me, anything like that, I act a fool in here. I'm all the way in. They're laughing. They have been to haunted houses. I can't do it. I just be feeling like stuff is on me for real.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know what we're gonna be doing later today.
Something is on. And you know those haunted houses and those haunted things up in here, and I just feel like I can feel something on. You know, I'm always worried about what's behind me.
Yes.
Like something's on my neck.
Mm-hmm. There's people on here that they claim that they have phantom sense.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
And then if someone like gets touched or anything like that, like they can feel it. So imagine going to Ignited Mangled or going to a haunted house and someone jump scares you or eats you or something like that, and you can
freaks
feel it.
me out.
And imagine, and
my friend has it.
Yes, right? See? And just imagine, and I know for a fact, probably, maybe, I can't say for a fact, sometimes, maybe. Anyway, I know that eventually Meta is probably going to come out with a suit that you can wear, and there probably already is one, but they're going to come out with a suit that you can wear that you can feel senses. Like, if you were to get touched, you feel it because it's a sensor suit that allows you. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, yes, Captain. See, they are.
Wow.
You know, I think
that's cool.
I think that we have. I think that we actually have some of those places here in Ohio where I think it's at one of our most popular malls that we have. They have actually VR rooms where people can go and play games, and they have all these sensors on their arms. They have the pads where you can run, and you wear these special like slipper-like shoes, and you get recorded of how you're playing versus what it looks like in the game. And let me tell you, some of those videos are so funny. If you haven't seen some of those videos, I will look them up on YouTube, and let me tell you, you're gonna be dying. I was dying. I laughed so hard. It's so funny.
You know, it's funny. It's still funny when you see people with headsets on in the real world for the first time, and they're dodging and flying. And like, you know how we were when we first got on. And I remember when I first got the headset last year, I jumped really. I don't know how many people have bumped their heads or anything. I cracked my head really hard. You know how you're like, when you first get the headset, you're getting used to it and the boundaries. And I just was so into it, crack my head.
I put a hole in my wall.
Did you
put
really?
a hole in your wall?
A lot of people have done that.
I cannot tell you how many times I've knocked over a drink or knocked over like something, and I would literally have to be like, "Oh, sorry, give me a second," and then you bend down and point out, or your body just flares everywhere.
I've knocked over a ton of drinks.
Yeah, yeah, say.
Mm-hmm.
I think Captain's in a party because I can't hear him.
I'm sorry, I'm party only. My apologies, everyone. You couldn't even hear me. I was playing the Rocky Championship boxing game, and I was sitting down playing it as opposed to standing up like I should have. He said he punched his poor Mooney cat. Well, I accidentally punched one of my cats. I was, squaring up to fight against Mr. T, the Clubber Lang that's in there, squaring up against him. And just as I start to throw just a quick right jab, my cat jumps up into my lap, boom, punches her right in the face, and you hear this, and I'm like, what the hell was that? I'm like, oh my God, poor kitty. I had to put the game on pause and give the kitty some love because I felt bad because I just punched him in the poor
You
cat.
all are beating up cats.
I'm telling you, it's not something I do normally, but people get in the way sometimes. I've seen people playing on this stuff, and you'll see them like going around. They'll be trying to feel for things, and it'll be like a scary game. And what you never want to do is like come up to somebody in real life and just like touch them while they're playing the scary game.
Oh, yes.
Because then they freak out and they bang run into the wall or something. Oh my God, it's funny to watch. Should be into the wall, but you don't want to do that to someone. It's just.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm just gonna start swinging. I'm just gonna start fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I what would too. Yeah. I can remember.
There's an old
one
saying,
time...
but back in my day, it's "I'm gonna knock your punk ass out."
That's back in my day too, Captain. I'm knocking you out.
You guys say like back in my day. We still say that.
Oh,
they
okay.
still say that. We all still say it. Yeah.
I'm knocking you
Back in
out.
my days, we didn't have iPhones. We had Nokias.
What are you trying to say? Just because we had stone tablets with chisels and hammers, what do you think you're fancy with your cell phones? Yes. Kids.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so continuing on.
DJ, let's
poor
talk
cat.
about mini golf, virtual putter to the face, and I couldn't see the other piece.
Oh,
Oh no. Poor thing.
that's a poor little kitty. Hole in one with the kitty. All I can
That is
picture is this
wild.
little fur ball with a tail and legs flapping out like this as it sails to the hole. That's about all I can see.
Yep. That is wild. Well, guys, I have another segment I would like to do, and this one is going to be the Realsies Talk, and this is provided by Miss Diva. What do you have about the real life world for us today?
Well, what we got going on in real life celebrity news is first of all, we got to talk about the big case that's going on where the Department of Justice is trying to take down Apple. As an Android user, I'm just gonna say it's about time. But anyway, that they're trying to say that Apple has put a monopoly and is forcing consumers to their products. So this is going to be an interesting case to see how that goes. And that was what I had. And then the other piece that I wanted to add into that, we were talking about clothing, and the other big conversation going on right now was, I don't know how many of you, okay, I don't follow him very closely. Kanye is interesting, but it's a big conversation about how his wife is dressing, and she went virtually naked into the Cheesecake Factory the other day.
No.
So you get into the conversations of, is it about women celebrating their bodies? Is it about a man forcing a woman to dress in a certain way? And then on top of that, people were escorting their children out because if you've seen her outfits, she was virtually naked coming up in the LA Cheesecake Factory. So my two things bringing from the real world, the topics on everybody's on TMZ, Page Six, and New York Post, and Kanye West and his half-naked wife.
That is wild. I could not imagine that coming up to Cheesecake Factory like half naked or virtually naked.
If I ever did that went to a Cheesecake Factory half naked, I guarantee you I would put a lot of people on diets because they would no longer want to eat the cheesecakes.
Well, well,
Stop
Simple as
DJ,
that.
DJ Douglas just put something on the chat that not on the Cheesecake Factory, but he just talked about apples being a status symbol. You are correct. I think it is a status symbol. So it will, you know, I know we have a guest coming out, but this is going to be, and I see Meta Demp here, this is going to be interesting because I knew it was coming after a while. You know, I knew the Department of Justice after a while, they'll come after you. So we're going to see if this is really a monopoly or what happened. So follow the case closely.
I'm an Apple user now. I just switched from Android to Apple.
Oh, you switched from Android to Apple. How do you like it so far?
I like it. It's just too much.
Too much. Apple does have a lot more features than some Androids. Especially Apple has a lot of hidden features. There's a lot of hidden features that Apple has that you can use. And there's actually so many of them.
Android has more free stuff, more free apps. I don't care. Go on with your Apple phones. Well, I love the fact that they brought this up, and I love the fact that they brought it up right after they charged $4,000 for a headset. So they might as well go ahead and get out of our meta market and go on about their business. And that's all I got to say on that. A lot of hidden license agreements for Meta Demp.
Yeah, they do have a lot of that going on. And you know what? I am a little upset with Apple because my AirPod Pros are super staticky and I need to get them fixed and they're taking a long time to get back with me. Let me tell you, okay? It's very annoying.
Android, we don't have that problem. I'm just saying. Okay.
Android, they have the Samsung Galaxy.
Don't have all
I used
that
to have
problem.
those.
There's a Droid app for every overprice. DJ Douglas, you know you my friend. Thank you very much. There you go. Said right there. There's an Android app for every overpriced Apple app.
Yeah, well, I guess we can get more into detail and actually maybe do a poll on who does what, Apple versus Android. Maybe we should do a poll, put it on Facebook, see what the Meta Facebook people have to say. You know, we'll come up with something like that.
If the Meta people know what's good for them, they won't say Apple taking food off their table. But anyway, I'm done. It'll be a whole long discussion with me.
Guess we'll have to see, huh? Gonna have to find out. But ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. It is that time to introduce our special guest of the evening. Please help me introduce the one, the only, Sensei Jack.
Sensei.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome. We are so excited to have you here today.
Thank you. I am honored to be here to
Scurvy
sit in
J.
the royal court of the queens.
Oh,
I was just reading Meta Demp Scurvy J.
Scurvy J.
He Meta Demp here messing with.
That's right. Yeah.
So, Mr. Sensei, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I am a former professional martial arts instructor. I've been training for over 40 years, and I actually was full-time professional karate instructor for over 25 years of my life. And I taught mostly kids. In fact, I taught over 10,000 children karate over my career.
Wow.
And then one day, and my wife is a college professor. She has a doctoral degree in nurse education, which means that she teaches the first person you see after you say, "Hold my beer and watch this." And so she is a very, very important person in the world, and she's really good at what she does. And my wife says to me one day, and I was born and raised in the same place and was there for 50 years. My wife says to me, "Hey, I have this really great opportunity in my career to get a great teaching job and a position." And I'm like, "That's great. Let's go for it." And she said, "The problem is it's 1,500 miles away from here." So I said, wow, that's a long ways. So I thought about it and I said, my wife is the most remarkable person I've ever met. She's the most wonderful person I've ever met. And
Oh,
she is the best wife that a man could ever have. She has supported me 100% in
aw.
everything that I've ever done in my entire life. And I said, what kind of a husband would I be if I said, yeah, no, you can't live all the dreams that you want to live too, just like I have, because you've allowed that. So I sold my karate school. I owned the building that the school's in. I sold that building. I owned all the rental properties. I sold everything I owned in that town. I moved 1,500 miles away so that my wife could have this opportunity, right? And then I retired. Obviously, I wasn't teaching anymore, and I went from a guy who was spending 80 hours a week running a business to somebody who was sitting around doing nothing. And I thought, man, this is really boring. What am I going to do? In the meantime, I had a friend who had a headset, and he let me wear it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have got to own one of these things, man. It was a Quest 2, which now you can get at Walmart for a measly $200. And it's still a fantastic headset. I still own my Quest 2 and love it. And so I said, man, I've got to own one of these. So I owned it. In the meantime, I was dabbling around in videography, video editing, and visual effects artistry. And when I got into the virtual world of Meta Horizon Worlds, all of a sudden I was able to take those two things and put them together to make a new career. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years now.
That is amazing.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that you could make an actual living here in Meta Horizon Worlds, but that's what I do.
That is so cool.
I know, right? It's at least beats working for a living. My gosh,
Yeah,
right?
for real. I've been having some severe job issues because my company, let's just say they're not merge friendly, and they're in the middle of a merge right now, and they screwed over a lot of people. You know what? It would be amazing to be able to have a fun career in a virtual reality world like this, doing stuff like this that we all love, and to be able to get paid for it and to have fun and to actually like your job. That sounds like a great time.
Well, when I was a professional karate instructor, I loved that job too, and ultimately it sort of boils down to what Mark Twain said, which is, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and then the day you figure out why you were born. And there is no greater pain than the pain of unfulfilled purpose. So if you, decide what your purpose in life is and then fulfill that through your job or through your career, then, when you're old and you're sitting in a rocking chair, you won't have any regrets. But I will say, as I get older, I've realized that the biggest regrets that people have when they're older is not about the things that they did in life, but about the things that they didn't do in life.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely totally agree.
That is so true.
Mhm.
And I have to go ahead.
You girl, you go first.
Well, I just wanted to add in just in front of everyone and our live stream audience too. I have to talk about this. He's one of the most humble men I have ever met. And a lot of people don't know this, but I'm about to share it. When I first came on the platform, I think I had only been on for a few weeks. And in my mind, I was thinking there's a business opportunity here. And since AJ didn't know me from Jump, and I reached out to him on Facebook, I just saw this phenomenal leader and creator in all of these groups and just had, I could be exaggerating, but I don't know. But it looked like 1 million followers to me, I think. And you have a lot of followers on Facebook. And I just reached out and I was like, hey, at the time I was just beginning to work at that time with Jordan. And I said, hey, I've got someone here and I'm just, wondering if you could give us some advice. Did not know me from Jump, answered and immediately was like, come on, let's get in here and meet, and answered all of my questions, talked about how a business can come from it. And then I was speaking to the phenomenal work that you've done with Soapstone and others, and just really was so motivational. And to a lot of people, I often say, to me, Sensei Jay is like the mentor for Mogul Mindset to me, because
Mhm.
he was very influential in saying you can do it. And then even during some tough times last year, where I had to kind of like step back when I had lost then my second parent, you were so kind and you had sent beautiful messages and said, you know, take the time that you need, it will be here. And sometimes you just need a person to tell you that. So,
Oh yeah.
you know, I just want to say to you, you've made a major impact on me. Spent, Jane knows this. He and Mama Bree, they just came when I had, you know, the twins last year. They came, volunteered their time, was actually going into separate, you know, areas and teaching children about scripting, building, creating. Discipline. We would do round tables and let them talk about what was troubling them. So I just want to say, you know, you've done a lot, but just thank you for everything that you did to
yeah.
really help Mogul Mindset get off its feet. And I will forever be grateful and thankful for that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to say that the work that you're doing with those kids is fantastic. You know, and I know that most adults in Horizon Worlds kind of despise the teenagers, you know, they really do. And it's like, why? Why? Kids are the future. They're going to be running the show when we're old, you know?
That's right.
And so instead of shunning them,
That's right.
Everybody in Horizon Worlds needs to do what you're doing, which is, hey, I'm going to show you the ropes and you are going to be spectacular in the world, you know? And we're going to take these teenagers and make them, or not make them, but
Help
guide them to being productive, valuable members of society. And so I applaud you for what you're doing because I think it's wonderful.
And look, and you have one of your students, you have sitting right here.
Woo! And
Jane,
Mama Bree was here earlier.
A year later.
And I think she had to go, but Mama Bree was instrumental in that also. And I shout out to Mama Bree because she is a wonderful, wonderful person.
She's
and she
wonderful.
Helps me, you know, play test worlds. And anytime anybody asks her for help, she jumps right in there and does it. So it's just amazing. But Miss Queen, to you, I had, believe it or not, I had dinner. I had the opportunity to have dinner with Peyton Manning one time. And I will, first of all, tell you that he is a lot bigger than he looks on TV.
Oh, really?
Right? You know, he is huge. Right. And we were chatting, and it was in the context of education. Okay. So just understand that. Me being a karate instructor and him being, you know, a coach of youth football players. And he said, you know, Helen Keller once said that the only thing that's worse than being blind is having no vision. So it's one thing to not have the ability to do something, but it's another to have it and then not do anything with it.
So true.
And Ms. Queen, you have the gift of gab. And I mean that in a positive way. You really do. You speak well, and you are entertaining, and you are very articulate and intelligent. And so I would encourage you to run with that and do as much as you can with what you
That's true.
I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast was because if for the longest time in Horizons that I can think of, there's always been so much negativity and so much drama or something always happens with everyone, you know. Everyone has an issue. Someone did this, someone did this. Yeah, this kid's been doing that, like, you know, hating, or like how you said, being dismissive towards certain people that shouldn't be dismissive towards. And here, this is why I wanted to make a change. This is why I wanted to create QT Gossip Podcast. And even when we first started, Diva came to me and she was worried because it was, you know, gossip's, you know, negative. It's it's literally nothing that you should be talking about because it's something, you know, we want to steer away from. And that's exactly what I hoped that someone would come up to me and say. And that's exactly why I came up with it, is because gossip is not negative unless you make it negative. Gossip can be anything you want it to be. And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm going to switch the flip. Talk good,
whatever.
And I can't talk like that. Switch the flip.
Right, remember when I said you had a gift? Never mind. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Take it back. But that's that's the whole reason why I want to do this, is to switch the negative into positive. And I feel like how you said earlier, someone you're born to have this um
Purpose.
gift,
Mhm.
yeah. And
Yep.
I feel like that's something that
Mhm.
this is my gift, although
I agree.
I don't get paid for it, although it would be very nice to get paid for it. That's not my goal. My goal is to provide help and positive gossip and help others when needed. And that's another reason why I do my promotional videos. And I think the first time I've ever actually got to meet you and talk to you was when
Yeah.
I was doing a promotional video for Captain.
Yeah.
And it was for his mining world,
Mhm.
which I was so proud to do that, because that was my very first actual promotional video, and I showed you it and you gave me really good advice on it.
Oh, it was such a
Um,
good video too.
Oh, thank you. I
Oh,
made
yeah.
one mistake. One mistake. My hand was showing in one of the shots, and it killed me the whole entire time. But I couldn't
Oh.
reshoot it, and I was so sad. But
But you know
anyway.
what? You're the only person that never notices it.
That's true.
True. But guess what? I notice it, and
Yeah,
I'm very.
you notice it.
I'm
Nobody else
very.
does.
Yeah, I'm like, I want it to be perfect, because I want people to, want people to like it. And I don't want them to, oh well, her hand's in the video, so I can't go to his world. That's something sometimes you think about.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
never go to that world, boy.
Yeah, she
Look
has
at
an
that
ugly hand. You cannot go there. But it's just like, whenever I showed you that, you gave me such like good advice, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted you to help me with my intro videos for
Oh, yeah.
QT Gossips.
For him.
And
That's right.
yeah, and I'm very blessed for you to be able to do that for us, and to
It was my
provide your
pleasure.
skills. Like, I was so excited when you agreed to it, because it's the Sensei J. It's the king of, all types of media. And
Well,
I'm
let's not
trying
get carried
to.
away.
Yeah, well, I mean, come on, don't be so modest, sir. You are very good, and I'm trying to, not steal your limelight, but to follow in your footsteps, and to not
Oh,
just
you know what,
help,
though?
but to grow the whole entire
I
community
will tell
of
you that
promotion.
successful people lift while they climb.
That's right.
All successful people lift while they climb. If you're a successful person, you want to see other people be successful. And even if it's in what you're doing, then you know what? Somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, how do you do this? How do you do this? Let me show you exactly how it's done." Because the best and the easiest way to become successful is to find somebody who is already successful and then do what they're doing. And the easiest way to make that happen is by going to them and saying, "Hey, how are you doing this?" And then they will show you. 9 times out of 10, they will actually show you. Very few successful people gatekeep what they do because they want everybody to be successful.
And doing it with the free. I know Iris just said she tries to do the same. And one
And
of
she
the things
does.
that's so
Absolutely.
doing it with a free heart, when you don't expect anything from return. I know one of the things, like I said, I was mentioning you've always, no matter what it is, I've seen you go out of your way. You just, no matter what it is, and you do a little bit of everything from Horizon World Tours. You're helping individual, for many of you that if you're not on the Vidu Discord, if you're not on the Horizons Discord, Sensei is always on the Discord. I don't know how many of you have had a chance to take advantage. How many of you know about the testing program, the Vidu certification program? Excuse me. I'm a big promoter
the
of
Vidu verification.
I'm a big promoter.
I still actually do that for them too. Yeah, I don't do nearly as much as I used to for Vidu, but I still run that program.
Could you tell the audience a little bit about that certification program? It's a powerful program.
Oh, sure.
You know how I feel about it.
Vidu. So Lakes 05 is the founder and owner of Vidu, and gosh, it's been over a year. It's been maybe 2 years ago. He said, what we need is a process to teach people quickly how to become good builders and how to become good scripters in Horizon Worlds. And so he put together a rubric of things that you can learn that will give you all the basics for being a good builder or all the basics for being a good scripter. And then he said, now what we need to do is just encourage people to go through this rubric. And so to do that, he created the Vidu verification program, which is you get this verification badge that says, hey, I am certified or verified by Vidu to be a video builder, right? Or a scripter. And so you go through this process, you create this, promotes better building and challenge people learn, as Metadim says. I think Metadim went through the certification program. The idea though being that you actually have to build a world and demonstrate that you know all of these skills, you have all these skills to be able to do that. And then I go into your world and I actually go through it piece by piece and tear the whole thing apart and certify or verify you, right? And then Mama Bree came along and said, what about playtesters? We need a playtester badge too. And so she and I wrote the curriculum or the rubric for getting your playtester badge as well. So they have 3 badges. Everything in Horizon Worlds is changing. So because of that,
Jane has a tester badge.
Yeah, Jane does. That's right.
I got my tester badge.
Everything is changing in Horizon Worlds. So as these things are changing, the video verification program is becoming more and more out of date. But at some point, I will revisit that with Lakes 05 and we will update it. But we have to wait until the timing's right when more people have access to all the changes that are happening.
It's a very good program.
It is.
We encouraged all the tweens. We had a lot of tweens that went through. A lot of
tweens who went, and got
proud of them.
Tester badges. You bet. I will tell you, you wanted me to talk about my family park world. I know, and I don't usually promote my worlds, but I wanted to tell you the story behind it, right? So what happened was, I have a degree in marketing. So my business degree is in marketing. And in marketing, the idea is, hey, don't build or do what you want to do in your business. Find out what other people want or need in the world and then provide that, right? So when I go around building worlds, my idea process is I want to go find out what other people want in Horizon Worlds. So I went to a friend of mine who has a neuromuscular disease. And I said, gosh, if you could do something, in real life or in Horizon Worlds that you've never done before, what would it be? And because he has a neuromuscular disease, he said, one of the things I've never been able to do is throw a football around in a park with my son or with my dad, So I thought, wow, I mean, that's really something because, I would take something like that for granted. I do it all the time. So I went in and I got the football mechanic that Horizon Worlds provides for you. And I created a mechanic where you could move these sliders so that, there was how much power does it take to throw the ball? How quickly does it return? I had it actually auto aim, but you could add a slider so that it would auto aim less or more and this and that. And then he and I went into the world and we threw the football around for about 2 hours. Right. And I was working the sliders a little bit, and adjusting and tweaking for about 2 hours. He and I threw a football around together. And he was in tears by the time we were done with that. And I said, this is great. And I left it. It's called Throw the Football Around World. That's what it's called, right? But I took those numbers because after we did that, then I thought, I had to make a park that we could throw the football around in. And so I took those exact numbers, those exact slider positions, and I built a football just like that. And I brought it into the park world. And there's like a whole table full of footballs and you can throw them around. And then I started adding all kinds of other things to the park world as well. But the footballs were the main reason that I built that world, right? And now you can throw around paper airplanes and there's a boomerang in there and, cornhole and, all kinds of other stuff that you can do. But that was the original idea. And it was an amazing experience to see my friend be able to throw this football around. If you go into the park and try and throw the football around, you'll find out that football is like a rocket, man. It launches. And that's because he doesn't have a lot of strength in his muscles. But he had enough to be able to throw that football, halfway across the park. Most people, when they go in there the first time, they go, holy smokes, these footballs are on steroids or something, but there's a reason for that. And I decided to leave that because I wanted him to have access to that.
That's lovely.
And everybody else is just going to have to learn how to adjust their throw. So
that speaks to who you are as a person.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And personally, I like the footballs
Love
going
them.
super fast because it makes me, look better at it.
Yeah, you're like, oh, big,
Yeah.
strong.
Strong arms, yeah. I think that's pretty awesome. A lot of people here in Horizons, I've noticed that there are a lot of people who come here actually because they don't have the ability to do certain things like they can in real life. Like there are a lot of people out there that aren't able to walk or aren't able to run, and you see them going to tracks and going around the world, jumping around, running,
Parkouring,
having fun, parkouring like crazy. And that's what is so nice about virtual reality, is because you have the ability to be able to do things that you can't or you're not able to in the real world. And that's something that's very, very heartwarming if you actually like really sit down and think about, like, wow, like just like your friend, like he now
Yeah.
has the ability, if he wants to come play football. If you said he has a son, or he has
He has a son. Yeah, he has a couple of kids actually, and he can throw the football around with his kids.
with
you
them.
know?
Yep, and it's very amazing, and especially with people like you, to be able to create certain worlds so that people who have those disabilities can actually go do that. It's very amazing. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
it's
it is.
it's really good.
It is, and not. Oh, can you hear me now? Okay. Somehow I throw my microphone across the room. Sorry about that. Yeah, and there are lots of applications for virtual reality and metaverse technology, that go beyond just that.
That's
I
right.
work with a Thrive Pavilion, and they are work with older people 50 and up, which I am qualified. And we do all kinds of things within that community, and I helped Rob Signori get that going.
Nice.
And I know you'd be shocked, but I was the guy that made the promotional video for it and all that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
I did a lot of filming of interviews and for television, news broadcasts and things like that. And that again is a group of people who can be isolated because of their age, and now they have a group of friends that they can count on and have that social interaction, even though they can't leave their own home. And it's remarkable. It's a remarkable thing. I will never forget, and this is honest to goodness a true story. I had this idea, and I'm not a theater person, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do theater in Horizon World? I mean, like you could watch Hamlet, like a live production of Hamlet.
Yeah.
And the stage play is from people all over the world. That'd be really cool. And I quickly realized, again, there's no theater, in Horizon Worlds. This is 3 years ago. So I said, well, I'm going to build me a theater, right? So I had a friend who was a theater teacher at our local high school. I said, can you give me the exact measurements of a theater stage and stuff like that? And I built the world to spec. And then I thought, nobody's going to want to use this world, but if I give it away, then people can modify it and make it their own. So I gave it away, and it's still being given away for free right now. Anybody can have that world if they want it, right? And it's called the Community Theater, Horizon Community Theater. And
Very
so this guy
nice.
gets in touch with me, and he says, hey, I saw that you're giving away the that community theater. Can I have it? And I said, yeah, that I would love to. So I said, would you like for me to take you into the world and show you how it all works? Because the curtains open and close, and there's a tablet that you can allow people on the stage or not allow people on the stage, or actually throw people out onto the street and stuff like this. This is before anybody had ever made anything like this. And he's like, man, that would be great. So we went in, and you can press a button and the whole set changes to, act 2, set, or whatever, all the furniture and stuff, and so I'm showing him all this stuff. And I said, so you interested in doing theater? And he goes, no.
After you
So
showed them all.
Then what are we doing here? And he says, well, I have this really great idea to bring a comedy club into the Meta Horizon Worlds, and you're the very first person I've ever met in Horizon Worlds, and I really do think this is going to work. And his name is Unemployed Alcoholic.
Oh my
goodness, that's how you guys met.
That's how we met. I was the very first person you ever met in Horizon Ranch.
Oh, I never heard you tell that story. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
That's how you
true.
met.
And so, you know, to be honest, I was like, yeah, I don't know if a comedy club's really going to work. I didn't tell him that, you know.
And now
And
look.
the rest is history.
Now look at the Soapstone Comedy Club.
Look
the
at
rest, as
that.
they say, is history. Yeah. So
And unemployed alcoholic is the man on
He
Meta
is.
Horizon.
he is.
My
So
goodness, I never knew that's how you met.
It's true. It's true.
So the
That's all
saying
it.
goes as you be kind to everyone. That's what I always say. You never know who has on this headset.
Mhm.
That's right.
And the saying always is, you never know you're entertaining your angel, unawares.
That's right.
So, that's why I
Of
say be
course.
kind to everyone because you don't know who is on this headset.
Yep.
That is, I like that. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, you
I
don't
did too. That's
know
pretty cool.
who, where
That's
this
pretty-
person has
wow.
been, and you don't know where this person is going.
That's right.
Right?
You sure
But right
don't.
now, they know that you are being kind,
That's
and
right.
that's what matters. And I will say, we all know that if you could get in a time machine and go back 50 years and just one little tiny kind act is all you would do,
Yeah.
how different would today's world be as a result of that? Because that
Mhm.
one little thing then sets off another thing and another thing, and pretty soon the whole world is different, right? Even just a small
Mhm.
change
As it
can make a huge
was.
difference. So wait a minute.
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean that if I do something if I do one tiny little kind thing right now today, how will that change the world
You'll
50
touch
years
somebody
from
else.
now?
Mhm.
Right? 50 years from now. So every day you just change the world 50 years from now in a big way.
And I always think about what the world, at the time, if you all remember, some people I might be dating myself, but I can remember the world after 9/11. I remember that everybody was so kind to everybody. I
Mhm.
just remember the
Mhm.
world. Can you remember that? It's just like
Oh yeah.
small things. Everybody was holding doors and it was like this everywhere you went. And
Yeah.
if we could just grab some of that, it was just an
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
feeling at that, after a
Yeah.
bad act, but at that time.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, well, we could just get a little bit more of that back. I mean, I remember people were just randomly, even during the pandemic,
Oh,
the
yeah.
randomness,
Yeah.
I would open my door and see wine sitting on my porch,
Yep, random
your
action
neighbors,
points.
Mhm.
neighbors checking in on each other. If we could just get a piece of that back, it would make a difference,
Listen,
just
I'm
every
old enough.
day.
Jane was saying, you guys were old enough to be owning Nokia phones. I'm old enough. I had a tin can and a string. Come on, that was my phone back.
You know,
when
I
was
did
young.
too. Put the glass up and try to listen to what your
Listen
parents
to the
talking about with the
door.
glass.
What's going on in there?
Mhm.
You in trouble.
That's right. I'm a child of the 70s, man. I grew up in the 70s.
Me
and,
too. The 70s was the best time.
It was a great time for sure. You bet.
I
Absolutely.
feel like I
No
grew up in
computers.
the 90s and we were just getting into the computer phase and the phone
Yep.
phase at that point. And I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes like I grew up in the wrong era because like I just would have loved to have the big hair, the poofy dress, the awesome, songs that you can groove to,
yeah.
and just like
Oh, yeah.
just to be in that time
It
where
was a
everyone is
simple
nice.
time.
Yeah.
Yes, everyone and now it's just kind of it's a 50-50 shot if you get anything that's positive. Even today when I was helping a customer at work, they were having the disco, amen girl. They were even doing I love me some
You
disco.
know that's right, Iris.
Mhm.
You
Um,
bet.
this poor woman was having such a hard time because of the merge that this company is going through, and she was just having a rough day. And I asked her, and she acted like no one asked her how her day was or if she's okay. And I literally I was just talking to her. I'm like, are you okay? You sound like you're not okay. Is there something that I can actually like help you with? I know I fixed your IT issue, but is there something that I can help you with?
Mhm.
And she just broke down and she just started talking about how some of her families have been having some severe health issues, and she lost someone recently, and now she's going through this and this, and it's just like without
Yeah.
me even realizing, because I'm the type of person that, wants to try to help everyone as much as I can and try to bring that positive aspect to their life. Even if I myself personally don't get it that much, I want to receive it, or give it, and she was just so grateful. If we just have the ability to do, just like you said, one small act or one act of kindness a day.
But think about how that's
You'll
going to
change
change the world.
Yes. And she was just having the most horrible day. And then after that phone call, like before she hung up, she thanked me and she's like, "You just turned my day into the best day ever because you actually listened to me. You communicated with me." And I'm like, "Hey, well, that's what I'm here for, as long as everything's working good. And guess what? If you have an IT issue, you know where to find me, and you need to talk again, you know which number to dial." So like, it's pretty fun to be able to make someone smile and to give them a helping hand if needed. And that's the whole reason why we have the show, is to do that and to provide promotional support if we need to, or to even allow customers to talk and customers, people. Yes.
People, customers.
Yeah.
You guys
right.
are all the customers. Thanks for paying to get in here
Amen.
tonight. I appreciate that.
And I would just say, just to add
Remember,
to that,
50% goes to the house.
people haven't had a chance, just to share a thing about feeling good, I like to share like the real world news. If you have not had an opportunity, when you just want some quiet time, sit down on Netflix and watch Lionel Richie when they talk about the documentary on the making of We Are the World.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good documentary. Yeah.
If you want to feel good, and again, we dating ourselves because we remember that time.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the most feel good. Yes, I will put that on everybody's watch list. You will walk away. It was just amazing. It was an amazing documentary.
And when they made that documentary, or when they made the song, I was a senior in high school, and they played it on every radio station.
It was everywhere
at the same exact time. And I was driving to school.
How powerful that was.
I was driving to school when that started, and I pulled over and I just flipped through the radio stations to see if every single, because I wanted to know if there was a station that wasn't
around the world.
And every station was playing that song
at the same time.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like the only thing you could hear.
It was a different world in the 80s.
It was pretty cool. 1985 is when that was. Yep.
Man, if I grew up that time, let me tell you.
Oh,
I would just say you had me by a few years. I was in the 10th grade, but we're about to wrap up. So you were older officially. Officially older.
Actually, I started college when I was 17, so
much older, brother.
Yeah,
much older.
I'm way older than you, and I look older than you. You don't look a day over 29.
But everywhere I go now, I am totally referring to you as the much older brother.
That's really
everywhere I go. Just
I would.
Yeah, I'm 29 as well. I'm 29 as well, plus tax and CRV.
Plus
but
tax,
yes,
Oh, I talk about you being much older behind your back. Iris said I'm even older. But Iris, girl, you look good, girl.
Yeah.
Everyone looks good.
Iris is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I want to thank you all so much for being here, especially you, KJ. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an awesome show for sure. And I want to thank our special co-host, Miss Jean. Although she did have
it is a school night.
It's a school night. But we want to appreciate our tween queen. So thank you very much for being a part of it. And Sensei Jay, where can people come find you if they want to talk to you?
Right here in Meta Horizon Worlds. Or you could find my Facebook page, which is Sensei J.
Awesome. And what about you, Miss Steve?
Well, you can always find me somewhere on Instagram, on somewhere, but in between all the other things that I do. Pretty busy right now. Again, I always end with this. Again, no matter who you vote for, just please, if you can, register the vote. As I stated, I'm on the ballot this year. And it's hard. Just make sure, I don't care who you vote for, just register to vote, please.
Oh, Stitch girl. Hey, boo. My amazing button bitch.
You can find me on Instagram, Captain Jack Morgan 22, or you can find me on YouTube, for Captain Jack Morgan. Subscribe, please. I would appreciate it. You can find me here, being the button bitch at QT Gossip Podcast. Or you can find me on my own talk show at Where's the Beef on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Next week, we have an absolute scorching, sizzling beef that's going to be coming up. It's right now posted on my Instagram.
I'm ready.
You do not want to miss that one. It's going to be crazy. And, of course, you can find the good old captain at Bingo at the Black Pearl. So if you like bingo, you want to win prizes and some money, come on by and visit me.
Awesome. And we do have our amazing cameraman, Bronina. You can find him on Instagram. It's going to be Bronina_CRS, all capitalized. Check him out. He does amazing job at promoting and just being such a amazing light in a dark world. So please go check him out. He is fantastic. You can also check me out on YouTube. I have YouTube, Queens Talk Gossip, all one word, as well as Twitch, same thing. And you can find me on Instagram as well. It's just Miss Queen, same as it is on here. And we want to thank you all so very much for coming.
Who's next week's guest?
See you next week.
Who's next week's guest?
Well, I don't know, Miss Diva. Who is next week's guest?
I'm trying to remember. We got so many people coming.
We do. We're so
Stay tuned for next
forget.
week's guest.
Let me
Is it Gia?
Let me take a look here.
I was responsible for the ice breaking. I had nothing to do with melting it after I got it broken. So.
Don't remind us.
Jen Puddin.
We have the phenomenal Jim Puddin next week.
Oh, great.
Jim
Oh,
Puddin.
he's fantastic.
I know, right? I'm so excited.
What a guest.
We have the
Yes.
scripter extraordinaire coming next week. So I'm excited. So you got to be here.
For
Got to be
sure.
here. Bowenville.
Of course.
He
Hey,
is the man when it comes
he
to
is also
scripting
the
in
man.
Horizon Worlds. If
I
you
am so
need-
excited he's coming.
Yeah, if you have an issue with scripting, he has the answer. It's just,
He is brilliant.
absolutely fantastic scripter.
Well, guys, thank you again so much for coming. It's been an awesome show. And on that note, I think it is time for us queens to go finish our tea elsewhere. You all have a lovely evening. We'll see
Thank
you
you
next
for
week.
coming, y'all.
Thank you for joining us today here at QT Gossip Podcast for the best of the best info around. Join us again every Thursday at 8 p.m.
Thank you
Eastern
so very
Standard
much.
Time or watch our live stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, as we close the mic, open your minds to new horizons and the door to countless possibilities. Until next time, keep chasing your dream.